I've decided to become a YouTuber, and this is why. Before I begin, I just want to say that I've tried to record this video at least 3 times before this, and for some reason, it looks like the universe doesn't really want me to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it because I am extremely annoyed, and I'm also really stubborn. So. So, one of the main reasons that I'm doing this particular video is because I'm an Indian, and as an Indian, it seems to me it's always been the case ever since I was a child that everybody around me who knows me in any capacity seems to be kind of, shall we say, invested in knowing what is happening in my life. Not only that, they feel entitled to know it. So this is my way of saving myself a lot of time, energy and effort. I just have to put out what I'm doing once, and I can send this video to anybody who asks what I'm doing and why. The first reason I've decided to do YouTube is because I want to create where I consume. Now, if I'm being honest with you, I spend a great deal of time on YouTube. I primarily watch a lot of educational content on there. I do spend a decent amount of time on YouTube for entertainment as well, but it's primarily educational. I've used the great repository that YouTube is to gather information on a wide variety of subjects, including but not limited to art, music, design, fitness, productivity and self-improvement. Now, for a really long time, I didn't particularly plan on doing anything else on YouTube except maybe putting out a podcast episode once a week. But all of that changed when I heard Andrew Kirby's advice, which was to create where I consumed. Reason number 2 is my need for a creative outlet. Now, the curse of creativity is an entire topic and one that I will probably get into in another video. But for now, suffice it to say that creative people need to be creative constantly. And to quote Dr. Jordan Peterson, if they're not creative, they're miserable. For those of you who are wondering who Dr. Jordan Peterson is and why he has any authority to speak about this particular subject, he's been a professor at several esteemed universities, including Harvard. And he's also a clinical psychologist. There were 2 particular times when I wasn't able to create and it made me miserable. Now, the first time in 2019, I was working a full-time job and I wasn't sleeping very much. I was sleeping about 6 hours every single night because I had a lot of things to do to check off my to-do list, and I didn't have enough time. A doctor once joked that I needed like 28 hours in a day to get the things that I wanted to do. But essentially what happened was I wasn't able to play the guitar as much as I wanted to, and I felt incredibly miserable, like a huge part of my life, like all the color had been sucked out of it. And towards the end, I did use this opportunity to get into art. It was just that need for a creative urge that pushed me towards art again. I started doodling during meetings whenever it was possible, and I ended up doing a full-time course in art for a while. I did a course on Udemy and the rest. The second time was when I was in Hyderabad. Now, for those of you who were wondering why I wasn't able to create in Hyderabad, there's an entire video that I've made explaining what I was doing for the 3 months that I was away. I will link the video in the description. Go check that out. It explains where I've been for the past 4 months and why I wasn't able to do the podcast, essentially. But the thing was, I wasn't able to record. I had my equipment, but the environment wasn't suitable for recording the podcast. At that particular time, I was using the podcast as a way to gather my thoughts and knowledge and organize all the knowledge that I had. And considering the fact that I was also using it to improve my speech and all of that, leave aside the fact that I love the sound of my own voice, I was using it to express myself, and because I didn't have anything, I felt myself falling into this pit of hopelessness that continued until I found myself another creative outlet, which was writing a blog. There's a lot of skills involved in becoming a YouTuber. You have to shoot, you have to edit, you have to do a little bit of mixing and mastering, and you have to write a script, obviously. But the main thing is this ability to tell a story visually, visual storytelling. And I get to practice all of that, polish my craft on camera. Those are three of the reasons that I'm starting YouTube. One, because I want to create where I consume. Two, it satisfies my need for a creative outlet, and it satisfies my need for constant learning. Now, if you look at these 3 points, it's all about me, right? It doesn't really tell you why you should be watching a video that I create. And here's my solution to that. Now, the thing is, right now I have 3 main problems that I'm trying to solve. One is the lack of financial independence. The second is that I'm not particularly at peak efficiency / productivity. And the third is the fact that I have a bit of an art block. Now, the second main thing that I want to do on YouTube is tell a good and entertaining story. And every good story does need an audience. You don't really know whether it's good until you have that audience feedback. And part of the story that I'm going to be telling you is the story that I know best. The thing is, I've spent the majority of my life, particularly the last 4 years, in this constant journey of growth and self-development. And along the way, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've picked up a really cool set of habits, and I've also messed up in several areas. I've gotten new insights. I've gone through this tremendous growth, both physically and mentally, and I want to share that journey and the insights I've gotten on that journey with you. My first problem, the fact that I'm not financially independent, is actually kind of linked to the journey that I've been having. I chose to invest in myself. I chose to invest in my character. I chose my character over money because I knew that I needed time to figure out what I wanted to do, the kind of impact I wanted to leave on the world. And it took me a while to figure that out. That's basically the story I'm going to be telling you. The third reason is to teach. Now, I suppose I've saved the best for last. I've always loved to teach people, and considering the fact that one of the best ways to teach another person something new is 1, to practice what you're learning, and 2, to learn with the intention to teach. I was gonna do this anyway. I already planned on summarizing my knowledge for myself. This way, at least it might be of use to one other person. Now, all of this is definitely not because AI art has come up, and as an artist, I feel threatened and I feel the need to make myself useful because I might become obsolete. It's definitely not because of that, but I will just say that AI still can't draw hands and I can. That's about it for the video. Thank you for coming here. I will see you in the next video. Until next time. Videography, cinematography.